Welcome to Ask Me Anything, featuring spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.
Hi, everybody. My gosh. Welcome to Ask Me Anything. I am spiritual medium Kellee White. How's everybody doing? Hi, Stacy. Hi, Ann Margaret. Every time I say that name, okay, chilly Boston, 0. Oh boy. Yeah, it was 7 here today and it snowed. I didn't know it could snow from at 7. Hi, Celeste. Hey, Julie. Hey, Renee Martinez. Hey, Elizabeth. Hey, Karen Ann. How you guys doing? Hi, Lori. Hi, Kathy. This is so fun. Hey, Chrissy. Happy it's Ask Me Anything Thursday. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Oh my gosh, Katie. She says, I saw so many bluebirds this afternoon. I have to tell you. Oh, hey, Laura from Wisconsin. I am staying warm because I'm in the house, except when my dogs have to go out. That's like a whole deal with the cleaning and getting them out, and then one won't come in, and it's just a. So Emily Nicole, yes, this Mercury retrograde is doing me in. Yeah, it's doing a number, isn't it? It really is. But we're going to talk about that. But Maria, you're right. Happy new moon, and we're going to talk about that too. Hey, Dee. Oh, lots of love from Chicago. Thank you. I did a program last night for toxic relationships with Jen Weigel, and she's based out of Chicago. So I think we had some people that were here that are watching the show now were there last night with us, and it was a really great. Working with Jen is always fabulous. She's so bright, and if you don't know who she is, look her up, Jen Weigel, and I'm going to have her on the show here too. She's written 3 books. Is really into the work I do and the work that mediums do and spirituality and psychology. She's just great. Hey, Kim Bracken, Kimberly Resich, or hello from Wisconsin. Go figure. There's so many people from Wisconsin. That's so great. Hi, Verna Hefner here in Canada. Am I reading that correctly? Minus 48? Well, I'd like to say you win, but I don't know. Minus 48. Oh God. Oh God, please don't let that happen here because then what would the dogs do? Like, do they go out? I mean, like, does the door open even? Oh my gosh. Hey, David. Hey, David Vigiano from Chicago. More Chicago love. Oh, love Jen too. You both are the best and you're the best. We talked about you last night, David, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have met Jen. So thank you for that. And for James too. James Van Prague. It was all of us together. So that was fun. The fact the last time I went to Chicago, David, was with you and I had dinner with you. That was the last time and you cooked for me. It was so great. I still remember it and we had a great bottle of wine. That was fun. Marge Rutka from Canada. Hi. Okay, Terry, where is Wenatchee, Wisconsin? Oh, Washington. Oh my gosh. So yes, Kim Ann, I told my client who was having issues with his cell phone, it was Mercury in retrograde, and his daughter said, Dad has been in retrograde for years. That's really funny. Hey, Karen Glass. Okay, Karen's a wonderful medium, and she now moved to St. Thomas, the real St. Thomas. How cool is that? Your dog Petey, Karen, cutest dog, I have to say, so cute. Virgin Islands. Oh my gosh. Well, let's talk about today is Chinese New Year and it's a new moon. So Chinese New Year this year is the year of the metal ox. So what is the metal ox? The metal ox is can get through anything. It's a doer. It has the ability to get through everything. And this year is going to be 2021 is going to be a year where we need to get through everything. It's going to be one of those years, and we have to push through like the ox. So it's a really important time for the ox, for us, frankly, to have the Chinese New Year today. And it's a really great symbol of resilience and getting through. And I think that resilience is going to be a buzzword this year for us. How resilient are you? I got to hear this. It was on the Today Show. There was a Navy SEAL who wrote a book, and it was how he got through SEAL training, how he got through it. And he didn't know at the time, he had to do some really weird things, carry telephone poles and I don't know, all kinds of oddball training. And he said, how's that going to help him in life? And what he realized, what it's really helping him now and during this, because he was resilient. He learned how to be resilient. So I think that's a key word for getting us through 2021. And we all have the ability to be resilient. And that's with a positive attitude and just keep going. Just keep going. So today is the Chinese New Year, and this will bring a lot of good fortune to people as well this year. Okay, so it's not all dire; it's just a lot this year. So, and today is this new moon. So today is new moon in Aquarius, and we have 6 planets in Aquarius. And Aquarius is it's revolutionary, it's innovative, it's creative, it's a doer also. It's somebody that will push energy through. They're stubborn, they don't back down. And when you have 6 planets lined up in Aquarius, it's not going to back down. Nobody's going to back down from anything. So we're going to push forward. And hi, Shanley Shaw. Hey, Shanley. Hey, hi, Shanley. Love you guys, you and Bill. I'm going to have Bill on the show as a hypnotist because he's really, really good. So I'm going to have Bill on at soon. Oh, thanks, Kim Ann. I've got the daffodil. Oh, I know. Aren't those great? The daffodils and the tulips. They're both my favorites. But I don't want to digress here. So this new moon with these 6 planets. Oh, that's what I was saying. A year ago at this time, we had 6 planets lined up in Capricorn, actually 7. And then we had 2020. We had the virus. And that was this whole Capricorn energy. Now we're going into this Aquarian energy, and the Aquarian energy will bring up new innovations, new ways to think, collaboration, spirituality. If you can think it, you can manifest it. So think in those terms, okay? And today with this new moon, please set your intentions. Just set your intentions. What do you want to accomplish? Let's look at the next decade. What do you want to accomplish in this decade? All of us have a certain amount of time here, and now's the time to take action. Because you want to, when you pass over on the other side, you want to be able to say, I did this, this, and this, and you don't want to have any regrets. And now's really a time to look in. Hey, Mike Leck. Hi, he's a great guy. I put a chapter of you in my book, Mike. I did. So, which I'll be working on next week. But anyway, and oh my God, I don't want to forget what I was just saying. So sorry, I get carried away with this. See, I get totally carried away. But oh yeah, you don't want to have any regrets. And on Monday, James Van Prague and I are going to do a show on regrets. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. It's a very important topic because you don't want to have any regrets of when you get to the other side. You want to do what you want to do. You want to do what you come to do. And this is a great time to set that intention about, I'd look 10 years from now, I'd look 5 years from now, I'd look right now. What do you want to do this year? What do you want to do this month? Start really setting that tone, because this energy, as wacky as this energy is, it's going to move us and motivate us. And again, Mercury's still in retrograde until February 20th. Mercury in retrograde, seriously, also in Aquarius, is about communication. It's about things breaking down. This is not a time to sign contracts if you don't have to. I'm going to get my shot on Monday, and I'm like, is that a good time for me? Well, I'm going back to do something. So, and by the way, I'm thrilled. Couldn't be happier. Hi, Dwight. Good evening. So, Debbie Foster Horan says, my 81-year-old stepfather received the following angelic numbers on Monday. Very close to each other. I love when that happens, Debbie. I really love that. 4444, 888, and 7777. So 444 is always angels. So angels around. So they're trying to get his attention. If 888 is also the universe. 888 is it's a power number, and it brings us back into a spirituality of the universe. So 888 is very, very good, and 7777 is always about God and spirituality. So clearly the angels are trying to get his attention, about going and taking a spiritual path, I would say. Whenever anybody starts to see these kind of numbers, it's like spiritual awakening, spiritual awareness. So um, there you go. Cassidy Morgan, do I see you buying a home soon? Well, I'll tell you what, a lot of people right now are buying homes. A lot of that going on right now. So absolutely. It's actually a really good time for this. Um, Lori, let me see. I'm not going to be able to say it. Clem, I'm going to go with that. Do you advise writing goals for successful manifestation? Yes, I do. I'm a big talker with this. Um, yes, set goals. And so for me, the best way that I do it is I have to take a week off. It's just the way my brain thinks because if I can't just do a little bit at a time because the energy kind of flows and goes out. So, however, know thyself. If it works best for you, 6 in the morning to 8 in the morning, then set that goal and do it. However, it works for you. Okay. Doreen Pione says, I have a question about orbs. Ooh, so orbs are really cool because when you take a picture, you can see little orbs. They're always represent something. I have security cameras inside and outside of my home. Very strange orb activity and at different times of the night. I get blinking orbs, large orbs, and they move fast, slow, and in groups. It looks like Grand Central Station. Wow. Still photos capture images of animals, people, and unidentifiable creatures. What are they and why am I bombarded with so many? I'm not sure, but I would say they're definitely trying to get your attention. Souls, um, angels, it could be guides, it could be anything trying to get your attention. And maybe where you're seeing them, that might be some sort of a vortex of energy. It's a possibility. I've seen all kinds of amazing orbs out there, and it's just know this, Doreen, you're clearly not alone. Okay, get some pictures and send them to us. We'd love to find that to see those. So, Chrissy Hayden, do I see you finding a soulmate this year? Well, I'll tell you a funny thing about that, Chrissy, is that again, this year is going to bring a lot of change. I would be very open to it. Be very open to it and know thyself. And sometimes a soulmate, I always say this, is a cellmate. So you really, I think you're looking for somebody that you want to love and that loves you back, really like that. Um, but it's absolutely a possibility this year. Okay, so Rachel Rogerton, are I got asked this earlier, and maybe it was you. Why do we have deja vu? Sometimes I feel like I dream some conversations and such before they happen. So somebody asked me that question, and I was going to answer that. So I'm going to answer that right now because I thought that was such a great question. So the term deja vu actually means already seen. Already seen. All of us have had this deja vu, right? All of us have had that feeling. We've been there before. We've seen this before. We've felt this before. So, deja vu describes that uncanny sensation that you've already experienced something, even though you know you never have. So, it's, I think, spiritually, before we incarnate and we're planning with our soul tribe and we're planning this, something kind of slips out along the way. And that might be that deja vu thing because it's something usually innocuous. It's like you could walk in a room and all of a sudden you go, wait a minute, I know I did that before. And then it's like we've already planned it. And I think it just slips out. And I read this about spirituality and I thought this was really important. It said these gold nuggets, so they're referring to the deja vu experience as a gold nugget, which is very cool, are placed at different points on your journey by your soul in order to remind you of your path, your journey, and that you are on the right track. So I think that's amazing. And if you're feeling like you dream some conversations and such before they happen, that is also very psychic. Our souls have often will have that will have that knowing of something already. So this is a great, and thanks for that question. I think it's a great question. Oh, Tracy Schnapp says, I was told that orbs can also be fairies. Right on. I love fairies, by the way. I know, like, I used to think fairies, and now I'm a big believer. I've seen a couple of them. I've seen more than that, actually. And I agree with that, actually. I didn't even think about that, but you're right. That's a really good one. Let's see. Okay, I want to answer some questions. Oh, okay. I want to answer these. These are Somebody asked me about a woodpecker totem. Okay, and I have to say I have so many woodpeckers in my house. It's unbelievable. Never had those in my life, and now we have big ones. I know them by name. I know them by color. And a woodpecker totem, a totem is a spirit animal that comes to us and brings us a message. So it stands for strength, opportunity, wisdom, resilience. Oh, no wonder. I was just talking about resilience. I did not read this before. So woodpeckers. Okay. So every time I see a woodpecker, I'm going to say, ooh, resilience, because that's the buzzword to get through this year. Kindness. I love kindness. That's my favorite. And determination. Okay. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot of woodpeckers. Somebody wrote me and said they lived in Long Beach, California, and they were seeing woodpeckers in Long Beach. I lived in Long Beach, never once saw a woodpecker. You used to see parrots. They had parrots there, believe it or not. But if people are now starting to see woodpeckers, it's very interesting because they're resilient and they're determined, and that's what is going to get us through 2021. Okay. Um, let's see. So Alice Johnson says, if I am still upset at someone who has passed, so somebody who's passed away, that they're not able to move along on their journey, if you are still upset, I'm going to answer that. Hold on a second. Let me see the rest of your question. They did something to me when they were alive, but I didn't find out about it until I went through their things after their death, so I can't ask questions and get past the pain and the hurt of it. Well, here's what happens. And it's about when somebody who's passed away and they've left a mess like this, Alice, and I'm sorry for what you've had to go through, whatever this was. When they've left a mess, they do the life review. And in that life review, they're going to see and know what you went through, see what they caused, the pain they caused. Okay. And so are they able to move on with their journey? They'll have to do something to make up for it, meaning that they might help you in some way. But if you're still upset, sometimes it's a kind of a dance we do, you know. I can't possibly. It's not that they're going to be totally stuck, but they'll have to deal with what they went through. Okay. And you take all the time you need to get through what you have gone through, whatever it was. You take all the time, honey. Don't ever hurry up or do anything because of the other side. You work with, if it's traumatic, work with maybe a therapist or work on it, whatever the trauma was. Okay. And you do that for yourself. I hope that answers that question. Um, Marge Rutka says, I've never seen a woodpecker before until this winter, and I've seen two in the past 3 weeks. Right? Right? I'm telling you, resilience. Resilience. Melena Stan, I never liked my mother-in-law. that's that's funny to me. I'm so sorry. Um, I had one once that was she was so mean to me. I heard this again from somebody today. She was so mean to me. Um, oh, I didn't get to read the rest of it. I'm so sorry. She was so mean to me. Oh, that I c- how that I can forgive her. I never liked my mother-in-law. She was so mean to me. Do you mean you can't forgive her? Um, you know, you forgive for yourself. Again, life review. On the other side, they'll have to do a life review. They'll look at their behavior. Yep, even personality disorders have to look at their behavior. And maybe they'll look at their behavior through a trauma lens, whatever her trauma was, whatever the lens they use. to help them understand how they treated other people, because I suspect if she didn't like you, she probably didn't like a lot of people. Or maybe you took her son, or, I don't know. People come up with some cockamamie things, don't they? This is a tough place to live, this earth. It's tough. Bo Black says she's got a lot of woodpeckers there. Good resilience. Good. Solar return. Barbara says she has her solar return. So that's a big thing for you. That, yes, I think it's going to be a really good year, because in March a lot of changes start to occur. So if we can view this year as I'm excited about the change, that's the ticket. That's the ticket. Um, let's see here. Oh, I do. Okay, so let me see these. So Kathy Hodes Strout says, do our loved ones who have passed, and it really goes with this question, get upset when we are sad to think about them? She said she often thinks about the sad events around her younger sister's accidental death. First of all, I'm sorry for that pain. That must be awful. That's god awful. Do loved ones get upset when we're sad about them? They would love, James always says, he had a reading with somebody, and the soul said, don't kill me twice. I don't need to go through this again. They don't want you to be sad. On the other side, they really don't want you to be sad. So when there's been loss, they will do everything that they can to bring you good energy, to be there. And of course you're going to be sad. Of course you're going to be sad. Um, but I don't think that they get so upset on the other side like that. They're just deeply concerned, usually deeply want to make the pain go away for you, because they're not in pain. In accidents too, you should know this, and everybody should know this. There's a call that goes out in the universe before an accident occurs, that they're never alone. Okay. So let's give you a little bit of peace there with that one. That's always tough. Losing a loved one is so hard, isn't it? Just attaching to a loved one and then losing one. Oh, it just sucks. I hate that. I wanted to read this because I thought hi, Larry Klimas, great sax player, also with Neil Diamond. Hey, Larry. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so I wanted to read this. Marilyn Gabrish said she wanted to share this with everybody. She said she had a most intense, beautiful dream last night. She said, I was dancing with my father to a waltz, complete with the rise and fall aspect of the dance, and we were so happy. My dad passed away in 1980, and he had been badly injured when she was 3 years old. I only knew him as a walking with a double limp. He had a bad double limp. Dancing was never an option, especially waltzing. She said, and I love ballroom dancing. He was a quiet man who didn't express his emotions. So to dance so freely with him in this dream, with him smiling so lovingly at me, fills my heart. It was the first time I can remember dreaming of him. Oh, Marilyn, I have chills everywhere. I think your dad is just the best. That's such a great visit. That's one of the greatest visits I've heard of. One of the greatest. Draw a picture of it, write it down so you'll always have that, what you were wearing, what he was wearing, the look, the feel of it, the emotion of it. Capture that, because he wanted you to know that he is there with you dancing. And that's a real thing, because where do we meet? We meet our loved ones when we're in our dream state. It's often a wonderful place to meet, because it's easy. They lower their vibration, we raise our vibration in the dream state. It's just great. So I love that. Pamela Tish, your words are so comforting. My BFF suddenly passed this year. Angie, oh, Pamela, I'm so sorry. Gosh, I lost a good friend too this year. Isn't that just suck? I hate that. Really, it's really, I just feel so sorry for you. I'm so sorry. And just know this, your BFF is always going to be around, talking and laughing and watching movies with you, and just gossiping with you and having fun. But it's hard. And there's this year, I've noticed we're having, as James and I said this the other day, there's a train coming, like so many people are going. It seems odd. And I was really sad to hear Chick Corea had passed away. Really sad, the musician. Really sad to hear that today. Yeah, but it's because they didn't sign up for COVID, or they signed up for the first year, not the second year. Give me 1 year of COVID and then I'm out. So interesting. Let's see. Oh, Sheila Caucus says, I want to take courses, but I'm afraid to commit. What are you afraid of? This is the perfect time to commit, actually. She's waiting for medical results and don't know if it will interfere. I don't think spirituality ever interferes in medical things. If anything, it helps. That's the way I look at it. That's the way I always look at it. So, Cindy D'Amico says, what does it mean when you see a red-tailed hawk everywhere? It's a great question. I feel comforted when I see them as they might be validating my life choice path. Yes, they do. So let's talk about hawks. I love to see hawks. Are they the greatest? They're the greatest. So a hawk spirit totem, it's the hawk is a messenger of the spirit world. And I always say it's the male psychic. So when you have a hawk around, they are keeping their eyes on you, making sure you're safe, you're protected, that you're not alone. And hawk means to focus. Hawk means to harness your energy of focus. It's a big power. It's really one of the big power totems. And it says, take the lead when the time is right. And it's a power to give you a clear vision. And it also means it's a strong connection with spirit, and it increases your spiritual awareness. So I think that's fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. So exciting here. Um, And somebody asked me about a cardinal. So I'm just going to say this because my niece Peggy, I talk about this week after week. She had 19 red cardinals. Can you imagine in her on her tree? 19. I just find that just amazing. So everybody should know this. A cardinal is finding freedom from this earthly resistance. And anything that holds us back, a cardinal helps move that energy, and it represents a pivotal point in one's life. And I have seen so many cardinals in front of my house too. It's wild. So I think that's very, very exciting. Love cardinals. I get so excited when I see them. So let's see here. Okay. Um, Donna Ballard. Sometimes the people that wrong us in life actually are giving us a gift opportunity to evolve. Hard to accept sometimes, but makes sense. 1,000,000,000%, Donna. Yes, that is correct. In fact, I have now gotten to a place where I can view all of those people that have wronged me, difficult people, toxic people, whatever you want to call it, personality disorders. Um, as great gifts, because had I not had those experiences, I wouldn't be able to do this work and do it very clearly, because that's how we learn. That's how we learn. We learn to teach. I did a course with Jen Weigel last night on toxic people, and we talked about this. Really is when you have somebody in your life that's difficult or toxic, personality disorder, whatever term you want to use, it's to teach us boundaries, self-love and boundaries. Do we love ourselves? And you have to work on that. If you don't, if you have any low self-esteem issues, it's all grist for the mill, we used to say in grad school. It is all information to learn about ourselves. How do we respond to a negative person? How do we respond to somebody who's wronged us? And then letting go, having compassion for what we went through, and then moving on. Key to life is to continue to move on. Okay? So just remember that. Lori Counts says, Hi, Lori. Hi, Lori. My husband committed suicide 2 years after he abandoned me and our 11-year-old in 2008. Oh, that's just awful, 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 awful. In his life review, would his soul begin to understand the damage he did? Yes, Lori, that's exactly correct. I got chills when I said that. Yes, yes. Um, and so when somebody commits suicide, if they don't go to hell, but at all, it's not like that. They go, first of all, to get help for whatever it was they went through. And then eventually, when they get to a place of healing, they do a life review. And yes, they would see the damage that they had done. They'd feel the pain that they had caused. Okay, I always tell people this. You don't have to worry about somebody getting their, what is the right word, comeuppance, or some word my mom used to use, because it will happen. It just will happen. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to plan anything. It's our ego that says, I want to say this to that fucker. But you just, I don't know. They will get theirs. And yes, I said the F word because they're around, those guys. But good question, Lori. I know. Okay. So, Stephanie Larson Pope, I just love your energy. Thank you. Thank you. And your soul and your kindness. Thank you, Stephanie. That's so sweet. I talked to my granddaughter today about me. You did. I think she's a star seed. Okay, so let's talk about star seeds. I'm having her look it up, and if she determines if that resonates with her. Absolutely. Thank you for your work. Thanks, Stephanie. So star seeds we're all from other galaxies, but more so, there are so many of us that are coming in that are not from around here. Meaning we come from different galaxies. People have heard of the Palladians. Um, uh, there's a whole bunches of them, places that people come from. And James and I actually taught a course in that. And so it's fun for me. They're the ones that are a little different. They view things differently. They often do like to be alone, and they're just different. They come here to do different works. They come here to travel. They come here to observe humanity. They come here often to bring a lot of love to humanity, a lot of healing to humanity. A lot of empaths are star seeds. Um, so I should. I'll next time I'll talk about a little bit more about star seeds, and I'll probably be doing another class in star seeds. And at some point in the next couple of months, Prajna Avalon and I are going to teach a class in, oh my God, Atlantis and Lemuria. And so that's going to be a really interesting class because that was from a really long time ago. So Lori Clark says the word is comeuppance. Yeah, that's the word. Thank you, Jody. Cutest F bomb ever. You should really see me in real life. I really, really blow it out. Um, So, Chrissy Hayden, do I think you should go into healthcare? I'm currently in the financial world. I'd have to look at your chart to look at that, but now a lot of people are leaving the financial world to go into healthcare. So again, you might be right on that right target of thinking about that. So probably, I think you're going to make a lot of change this year. Debbie Foster Horan, can people with personality disorders or narcissism ever change before they leave this earth plane? Watch this. No, no, they can't. No, personality disorders are no. I've never seen a personality disorder change before death, and if anything, they get worse as they get older. So, personality disorder, there's a spectrum. We call it cluster B. Sometimes we call it cluster F, but cluster B, it's starts with a narcissist, and a narcissist has no empathy. That's how you tell. And it goes to borderline personality disorder. Borderlines feel empty inside. So the buzzword is empty. And they might rage, they're dramatic, there's always an issue here. And from that, there's sociopathy, a sociopath. And then from that, there's psychopath. So there's a whole line here. And Dr. Shirley and I are actually going to be doing a class on toxic relationships, toxic families, toxic relationships in about, I think it's in April. We haven't put the date up yet. Um, so Donna Marie, you can have a reading if you go to my website, and I can do a mini reading if you give me your birth date, just a mini one. Amanda Lee, I've been struggling terribly with grief. Can you tell me how I can try and feel my mom here with me? Oh, Amanda, I'm so sorry you lost your mom. Isn't that the hardest one? They're all hard. So, oh, I feel her around. So this is what you do when you want to feel your mom, because your mom is with you. You sit and you just bring her energy in. All you have to do is just sit, and she comes right around. And just sometimes when we're in grief, so much grief, that and you says you're struggling terribly with grief. It's really hard to feel it. Listen, I'm a professional medium. When my mom died, I was on a hell-bent anger. I was so angry. I couldn't feel her, period. Took me almost 2 years. I'd say the first year for sure, and to get over the anger, really unbelievable. I never saw it coming. And then the second year, I started dealing with my feelings about it, and then I could feel my mom. So give yourself some time, honey. If it just recently happened, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Just give yourself some time. I tell you this, your mom is around. Pay attention to your dreams. Um, and smell her clothes. That's always a good one if you could do that. That's how I would get really close with my mom. I would smell something and then I'd go, oh, then I would cry. And I went through that whole thing for a long time. Sometimes I still cry. I go in my closet. I smell something of my mom's that I kept, and I just cry, and then I feel better. But I'll tell you this: you can definitely feel them around. They are around. Okay. Carol Schultz. I'm going to look at this right here real quickly. 114. So January 14th is a King of Diamonds. That is a big, big ticket. A King of Diamonds is here to do business. Business, also creative, but business, making money, business. The thing you always have to watch is trusting people too much. Okay, that's one of the things you came into to do. So Sarah von der Ren Bressers, I'm going to do a mini reading with you too. 1223. 1223. That is an eight of hearts. Eight of hearts is they make great therapists. They're here to experience emotions and in a big way. Often they will run groups, they'll be caregivers, they're helping, they're here for deep emotions. They're here to experience emotions. You always have to watch overpowering somebody with those emotions with that. Okay. So Miss Arlene, I love that. Miss Arlene, since I can't say your last name. Her birthday is 11/18, 1957. So really quickly, as I'm looking at that, you are a 33 like me, Miss Arlene. So that's a big deal. 1957 is a 22 and 9, 10, 11. You're a 33. Yay. So in numerology, there's 11, 22, and 33 as the master numbers. And 11, if you're an 11, God bless you. You have to take on an awful lot in this lifetime, and it's so your soul will master things like compassion and empathy. When you get to 22, 22 is a builder. Well, Donald Trump was a builder, also a destroyer. So each one has a positive and a negative. And a 33 is a teacher and a builder, and you have to walk a real fine line, Miss Arlene, a real fine line because I know I'm a 33. Real fine line with that. But it's a great one. It's a great and your birthday and you're King of Hearts. Oh my God. So you've got a male brain and you're here to give and give and give and give and take care of others. Does that kind of say it? I think that's probably the best way to say it here. So I'm going to answer a question and I'll definitely get to some of these birth dates, but I have to say this. Okay, Mark Johnson, I don't know how you do it week after week. I really don't. So, but I'm going to answer one of these a few of the Mark Johnson questions because I just am blown away by these. How do you think death goes? Mark Johnson says, like a blink of an eye. I think if you're lucky, a silver cord is cut and you're back home, and then you get yelled at by the guides and angels for failing all the tests. Wouldn't that suck? That's funny. Um, so what happens is when you're getting ready to pass away, again, whether it's an accident or it doesn't really matter how, you're going to have a loved one by that's going to bring you right up. So is it a blink of an eye? Yes, it is a blink of an eye, and it's a lot easier than being born. In fact, much easier than being born. And the silver cut is cord. The silver cut cord is cut. I get the words out right. The silver cord is cut. The silver cord is tied to us that keeps us in our spiritual place and in our body. And then suddenly you're back home. Well, there's that whole thing about going through a tunnel. So um, uh, there you go. I mean, it's easy. You don't have to worry. Um, Again, James and I laugh and say, "Well, there's a train that comes by and picks you up," and I'm not so sure that that doesn't happen. So, and no, we're not going to get yelled at by our angels or our guides. They're going to be thrilled to see us, and they'll say, "Oh, when you do a life review, so how do you think you did during that time? Do you think you could have done better?" And they'll probably say stuff like that, you know? "Well, I guess I could have, but I was so upset I couldn't get there." "Okay, you'll do better next time." I think that's kind of how it works. Something like that. And Mark Johnson says, "So, aren't any challenges on the other side? There aren't any challenges. Everything is just perfect all the time, and everyone is nice to each other." The higher up in vibration you go, our souls are always here to grow and learn. Just because we're on the other side doesn't change it, any of that. We still are here to learn and learn and learn. I think um, that the higher your vibration goes, the higher it rises, the less you can't go any higher until you work on everything you need to release, which would be traumas, anger, frustration, anything that's going to lower the soul. So you will be coming back around the bend, so to speak, on this earth plane probably to perfect, to get. And are things perfect? Is everyone nice to each other? It's a great question. Um, can you imagine that? Would that be heavenly? I hope so. I can't actually answer that, but I think if you don't like somebody while they're here, you may not like them there, and then you may work through it with them and be the best of friends because that was the role they chose. So it's complicated. And another one from Mark, is Earth the hardest place to be? Do I know of any other schooling options? I If it's not the hardest, it's certainly one of them. There may be another one that I don't want to know about. Um, this is certainly a tough place, right? I mean, this is tough. When you sign up here, you you've got to be hardy. You have to be kind of tough. And if you're an empath, it really makes it a little tougher. Let's see here. Okay, wait, Daniel. Okay, Karen. Is that your name, Karen? You are planning a fairly big change. Could you give me a mini reading on 9/15? So 9/15, September 15th. You're a true Virgo, any which way you slice it, Vedic or Western. And that is a 10 o'clock. Whoops, no, 9 of clubs. Yeah. So in this lifetime, make a big change, plan a big change, and make one because you come into complete a soul cycle. So you would be a normal thing for you to do a big change. It'd be a normal thing. So yes, go for it. Oh, Monica, her birthday's the same day as mine. Yahoo! 9/20, September 20th. That was a good day. Now September 21st is Earth, Wind, and Fire's September. That's my baby granddaughter's day. I was so happy she was born on that day. So happy. So excuse me, let's see. Zachlina Protega, 11/24. Okay, so 11/24 is a 9 of hearts. My baby grandson is a 9 of hearts. 9 of hearts are here to give and give and give, and they come to experience um, emotion. Emotion, often they're healers, often they come in as doctors, something along the lines where they are helping others. So that would be a life of service, true life of service. And Karen, your life would be a life of service too. Daniel Courier, 221, February 21st, which is a 4 of diamonds. And what I love about a 4 of diamonds is they are Ford trucks. They just keep going. You come to work, you come to also explore spirituality, especially important the second half of your life. Okay. So I hope that helps. Um, let's see. Lori Kimmel says, "Can you be an empath but not have any psychic abilities?" Great question, Lori. Great question. Hmm. Um, I think you just haven't tapped into them yet. Because to be an empath is you feel everything. Often we feel everything and we become psychic because we are trying to protect ourselves from others around us. So if we know what's going on, then we'll be safe. And empaths have that in spades. So I think all psychics have to be empaths unless they're totally unconscious. I think that, yeah. I think you have to be an empath to be a psychic. I do. But that's a good question, though. So Tippy Landis says, today was so emotional. What's happening? First of all, great name, Tippy. We call my stepmother Tippy. Um, what was happening today, I will tell you. Today was a new moon in Aquarius, and that brings up a lot of issues for people. It will bring up a lot of emotions. Another big thing is yesterday, Mercury squared Mars, and that brings up a lot of anger. And the thing I know about empaths, or when people get angry at if you're an empath and somebody gets angry, or you even the idea of it is very disturbing to our system. You know, I've had to learn to be a lot like Dr. Shirley. She's pretty tough. And so if anytime I find myself in a situation where there's anger around, I go, Dr. Shirley, okay. And then I just kind of get through it. But yeah, it was an emotional day today. It just was, honey. It was just an emotional. Yes, Kim Ann, a four diamonds is like a metal ox. It's so. Oh, Zelinka, you're a teacher. Teachers, by the way, God bless you guys right now, all the time, all the time. I mean, really, what amazing work. Suzanne Wilson told me I'm an empath, but I don't feel energy. It doesn't mean that you don't feel energy yet. It could mean, honey, that you are not. Well, I'd like to know, what's in under the hood here. What's under the hood here that would be you might not feel that? Are you depressed? Are you sad? So I'd love to. Anne Margaret says I was told that I'm an empath, but no psychic abilities. Well, start working on it. Start working on it. Empathy and being an empath is first where a psychic ability can come in. Okay. So Monica, what's your deal? Same birthday as me, 920. I'll tell you, four clubs. We're like Ford trucks too. It's all mental though. For four clubs, it's all mental communication. It could be in business, it could be psychic ability. Some of the people that I know the most, three of clubs, James, four of clubs, me, five of clubs, a lot of different mediums come in that package, 3, 4, and 5 of mediums. Um, Christine Meehan, I found out some shocking news through Ancestry. How do I keep this information to myself without going crazy? Ooh, pray tell. What is it? I don't know, Christine. It must have been shocking, like your dad's, you found out you had a new sister or something. I have heard that so many times. I'm not saying that's your case. I just have heard that a lot in this last year. Unbelievable. I'm not sure. Maybe find somebody to tell it to. So you don't go crazy. Yeah, that's a big one, right? That's a big one. Um, Mark Johnson says it's so hard for us to grasp that this stuff is real. How can you believe it yourself? Well, I'll tell you, Mark Johnson, I've had the experience over and over and over, and I know what I've seen. I trust myself. I know myself. I'm very grounded. Um, I started seeing things from the time I was young and kind of just, I don't know, tried to ignore it, but I really couldn't. And because it really wasn't fashionable. So I didn't want to be thought of as a crazy nut. Now I don't care. But back then it was tough. But it's very real. Everything I have seen, every experience I've had is very real. And the work I do, working with people over and over and over and working with their loved ones that come through, I don't know anything about these people. So that's how I know it's real. And I've just seen it so many times play out. So it's interesting stuff. Kim Ann, Ancestry DNA stuff is outing more people who have siblings they didn't know about, etc. People must be like, remember when we could mess around and no one could find out? Yes, I do. That's not the case now. Really, everybody walk a straight line, get your act together. The sins of the past. You know, I had this grandmother that was so Southern Baptist religion, and she'd be like, "Your sins of the past," and I'm like, "What? What does it even mean?" Now I know. Kathy Davis, I found out my dad was someone I did not know about. He has passed and met my half brother through DNA testing a few years ago. It is a wonderful relationship. Wow, that's a good story then. It's a wild story, but it is interesting. Susan Bulks O'Connor, 325. Okay, so March 25th. If your birthday is March 25th, Jack of Clubs. So Jack of Clubs is somebody that has a real great brain. Your brain would always be on. You probably have a master's degree or a PhD or something along those lines because you come to learn. Relationships would be a little more daunting for you because you're in your head a lot. But some of the greatest writers, some of the greatest mediums are Jack of Clubs, and great energy, all around great energy. So go you. That's a good one. Okay, Kelly, Marcia Marquise. Why? I know that last name. 610 is your birthday. Okay, so June 10th. Let's give you some inspiration. Seven of Diamonds. They call that the millionaire card. And it's also in order to make money, it's always about balance with spirituality. So your life has to be about spirituality. Period, period, period. It has to be because that's what you come in to do. So Chrissy Hayden on 4/9, April 9th. April 9th is a Queen of Diamonds. Queen of Diamonds has a tougher life because there would always be an issue with the mother early on or through their life, and you have to watch relationships. But they are the givers of givers. They're the givers of givers. They would give everything to help another person. So it's a really powerful position, and this lifetime, it's to remember who you are and gain your power and work on self-esteem and all of that. So it's a very powerful birth date. Very, very powerful. Okay, so you're so welcome. Let's see. Okay, Donna Ballard, I'm going to do this July 5th. July 5th is a 10 of diamonds. 10 of diamonds, they call this the blessed card. They call this birth date the blessing because even though you would have had also childhood issues, there's something about it's a very blessed later on in life. In fact, you probably make a great therapist. I know a lot of therapists that have this, and it was really great. Okay, Esperanza, 11/2, November 2nd, Five of Diamonds. So, Five of Diamonds is always about self esteem and coming into your own. So many times I have seen a Five of Diamonds have this relationship from this relationship and this relationship, like many relationships, because they have to work on themselves or you'll pick the same one over. But you come in, we learn from relationships, right? The reason we all have relationships is to learn about ourselves and others. So in this lifetime, it's a really great, also, it has to do with the angels. The Five of Diamonds always has something to do with angels or angelic work. So they often make great healers too. So I hope that helps. And Grizzle, is that your name? Grizzle Guerra. Are you related to Sandy Guerra, my cousin? March 13th. March 13th is also a 10 of diamonds. Again, that's a blessed card. It means that you come here to do certain things, have to help other people, but it has to do with some blessings that were owed to you in this life. So it's actually really, really good. Okay, so Priscilla Sheridan, my 21-year-old daughter had a dream experience of traveling to different universes. How cool is that? We were just trying to see if you have any insight to this kind of experience. Yes, your daughter was traveling. 21 is when I started astral projecting, not because I said, oh, I think I'm going to astral project. It just spontaneously happened. 21 years old, actually. There's something about that time period. I don't know what it is about being 21. I have no idea. Maybe freedom. I don't really know. But if she had a dream of going to different universes, this is what she was doing. Keep a dream journal. Remember that because that will be maybe one of your first big spiritual awakenings or spiritual. It will tell you that you're not from here, honey. That is so great. I love this. That is just so great. So, Joan Kitty, can a soul just call it quits and dissipate? You mean on the other side? A soul? Because when we're here, I mean, I suppose you could just call it quits and not want to live anymore, but don't do that. Um, on the other side, I think it feels so good on the other side that you don't. That's a good question. I don't think so. I don't think so, but maybe. That's a good question. Are you are you so down? I guess I'd have to ask that question. But that's a good question. Can they just call it quits? Can you imagine going on the other side and going, I've had enough, and then just like disappearing? Well, maybe. I don't know. I guess we'll have to think about that one. Anyway, you guys, this is yes, Connie Fogel. I'll give you a resource. Yes, for what I'm doing. It's called Seven, the number seven Thunders, THUNDERS.com, seventhunders.com, and it's Robert Camp, and he does the Destiny cards, and I just love them. I think that's where you can find it, Dodie. I think you will. Oh, Lori, listen, I'm all everybody will get to wherever I am. Everybody will get there. So it's fascinating work, and just be yourself, love yourself, enjoy this time. Resilience, resilience, resilience. That's the buzzword for the year. Look for woodpeckers, look for your totems. And if you have a bad sibling, a toxic sibling, take our webinar on February 27th with Dr. Shirley Pellizzeri and me, and we're going to have it's a rivalry gone wrong. And it's a 2-hour session, and you guys will love it. We did bad mothers, we did bad fathers, and now we're going to do bad siblings. So if you've had one, and who hasn't, wink, wink, please join us. We'll be telling all kinds of stories on that one. It's one of those times you want to be there. So, and then James and I will be doing Monday night regrets. So you'll regret it if you've had a bad sibling. Take our course. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks, Renee.
You've been listening to Ask Me Anything, featuring spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.